Today's meeting is about investments that can shape your future. Yes, it's very important to know that you have options and you don't have to reach a time in your future and realize that you didn't make any investments. You have options with Mushana to make investments that may not break your pockets, but will still help you plan for your tomorrow and still help you in future. So for those who do not know about Mushana Sacco, this is an investment vehicle that has quite very many projects and activities and services that we offer, from savings and credit, from helping you make the best investment decisions, to agribusinesses that can help you grow your income, your passive income. We do a lot of collective farming, which can help you to be able to grow your finances without having to do the farming yourself. We do the work for you. Let me put it this way. We get our hands dirty for you to help you. We also help you think and create investment opportunities and present them to you so that you can choose which one is best or which one is going to work for you better. Right about now, I'm going to invite our speaker. He's known to most of you. And for those who do not know him, he's our chairman right now. And he's going to give us more information about himself. And he's going to give us a very wonderful presentation about investments that can shape the future. So with the people that are already in the group, please help me welcome Mr. Anthony Ochieng. Mr. Anthony, kindly unmute your microphone so that you can start your presentation. Thank you so much.
Good evening, members, and thank you so much to Ms. Daphne. You have been a very wonderful presenter, and thank you for keeping us entertained, or at least getting information for the past 30 minutes for those who are early birds. I want to thank all those who have made it on time. I did mention quite a short while ago that there are still some people who have challenges with keeping time. But we are really, really privileged to have everybody who has taken their investment journey serious and have made it on time for this very, very, very groundbreaking discussion. The discussion today is going to be shaped around investing for the future. And before we proceed, although Ms. Daphne had mentioned that we shall have a session at the end of the presentation where we shall throw it to the group on how we can be handling the next meetings. I came prepared to talk about Mushana, why we need to invest in Mushana, and there's so many programs that are in there. And I will sample a few of them. I'll talk about probably 2 of them in depth, but we'll talk about the rest. For the benefit of members who are joining us for the first time and members who just want to continuously understand what it is that Mushana actually does. So it's going to be a very interesting topic today. I'm very excited to be with you here today. I think it is the first time that I'm making this presentation. For those who have not yet known my name properly, my name is Anthony Ochieng. And I am very privileged to be the board chairperson for Mushana, alongside a very vibrant team of board directors who are 5 in number. Some of you might even be asking, how did Anthony become the board chairperson? Well, the board is elected by shareholders, and at that point, they are elected as directors of the investment or the business. And then in a special meeting that is convened by the board directors, their very first one, they always elect a chairperson for the board. So I don't take that opportunity lightly. It has a lot of weight that it comes with, and a lot of responsibility. But I am happy to report that myself and the board is very dedicated, and they have done so much already for Mushana, and they continue to do so much for Mushana. So for the shareholders, for members who are willing to join us, this is absolutely the right place to be. There's going to be quite a lot that we are going to be discussing. The goal is to grow together and leave no one behind. There are so many investment options. There are so many groups that are doing investments. For those people who are familiar with Uganda, we have a famous group here called Kwagalana Group, and it's a combination of most of the rich people in Uganda. It has the Sudiru Parelias, it has the BMKs, it has the Hams, it has so many of the richest people in Uganda. And when you look closely at how they do their things, it is by association. One of the very critical things is by associations. They come together, pull themselves together, decide on an investment, and go for that investment. Now, we as Mushana are using the same model, slightly better, but we are using the same model. It's just unfortunate they made money before us, but in a short time, we are going to be at the same level with those movers and shakers of the financial economy of Uganda. And we are so happy that members of Mushana will be at the top financially. So that is not something we can take lightly. Imagine yourself, dream crazy. Imagine yourself being a member, for example, of Mushana Bank, because the goal for Mushana is also to have a bank starting 2026. Now, just take a picture and look at, for example, DFCU Bank. It makes billions of shillings in one financial year. Now, if you are a member of that institution, you will be smiling for the rest of your life. And even if you're not smiling for the rest of your life, your children will benefit from that kind of investment that you took the decision to join today. So I want to commend all of you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I see the number is growing steadily, and we are going to, I think, not wait for anybody else. I'm going to straight away introduce the concept of Mushana. Many times we talk about this company, and we want people to understand. I did work for a company that believed in continual quest for excellence. And what that statement meant is that every time there is always room for improvement. There's always something that you can learn. So you must always be willing and available to continually seek that knowledge, because you might know something today, and because of so many of the technological advancements that are occurring in our neighborhoods here or in our daily lives, so much has to change. So the only way that you can stay relevant in the changing times is to also equip yourself with knowledge. That is why I am grateful that you are with us here, and your life will not remain the same. So allow me to straight away start our presentation. Daphne, you're going to be helping me to confirm that you can see this and you can hear my audio. I will not be able to ask everybody to do that, but if you see my screen and you can, I beg your pardon, is someone whispering?
No, for now I can hear you, but I can't see your screen.
Okay, I am just giving my introductory remarks, and I'm going to be sharing the screen with all of us very shortly. So thank you so much. You are in the right place, and we are going to move just fine together. Basically, okay. Okay, so that's the first page. One, we believe in understanding Mushana's Sacco strategy to build a generational wealth. Like I've just been giving a few remarks at the beginning of this chart, that there's a lot of dimensions that are coming into the investment cycles that we are in. So we have to understand our Sacco's strategy towards our goal of generational wealth. And how we do that is by taking advantage of economies of scale. For those who may be wondering what economies of scale is, basically it means that there is always an opportunity. It is a term that is used in microeconomics. And basically what it means for a layman is that the cost always comes down when the number is higher. The number of people that are interested in that item is higher. For example, the way we purchase land, the reason we are able to get land in cheap places is because of that same principle. We go and purchase huge chunks of land, and because it is huge chunks of land, the cost comes down. And then Mushana just opens the land, makes it usable, and then sells it to members. Now, you find that because of that strategy, we have been able to access land in very high value areas, but at half the price. If you went, or rather half the market price, if you went to an area like Chira, Nyanja, where we have land, the market price of a plot there is 50 million, 60, 70. But for us, we were able to sell our plots at 25 million. So that is very important. That is what it means by economies of scale. So when you're dealing with Mushana, you should be rest assured that you are dealing with an institution that is fully registered and is operating legally within the country. Now, most of the people have always been asking us who try to sell Mushana to them that how long has it taken place? How sure am I it is not going to close? And those are the fears that everybody has for them to invest. And rightly so, because in Uganda, there are so many mushrooming organizations that come up, fleece people, and after fleecing people, they leave people in tears. Most of those people who have invested in those get-rich schemes like Telex Free, where something really appears too good to be true, have always ended up crying. The most recent, I think, was Capital Chicken and things like that. So, but when you're investing with Mushana, you are rest assured that you are dealing with an organization that is fully registered and has been tested over a period of time. This is an institution that was registered from 2015, and up to now, it is just shy of making 10 years. That means it has made tremendous movement in the right direction. It has withstood so many challenges that would have otherwise taken away so many Saccos, and it has now got to a level where it is at a flight stage. For most of you who have been blessed to use airplanes, you know that at the taking off, that is when it is most turbulent. Yeah. But then when it climbs into the sky and then it goes to the next layer of the clouds, the flight now becomes smoother. Now, I'm happy to also report to you that where Mushana has reached, we are now in cruise control, and there is no pothole, there is no bumps. Everything is moving just fine. So this is a right place to trust and put your investment and believe in us to get your returns in the promised times, and also for achievement of our goals of making sure we have a financially free retirement period. So Mushana Sacco, here we may not be able to read all these things here, or I may not be able to go through all these things because these things are on our website, and most of us can be able to access it through the website. There's a lot of information that is on the website, and this is also part of that information. But the biggest thing I can want to talk to you about here is building financial legacy and creating generational wealth. That is the ultimate vision that Mushana has, and it wants to do this for all the members that are part of Mushana. So I'll later on be telling you who can be part of Mushana, but for every person who joins, this is the biggest objective that we at Mushana really want to get across to members. So you will find that we have several arms under Mushana, and again, I'll bring them later. Here, I'm just going to talk about the surface validity of it. We have one arm, which is a Sacco, and that is the one that is helping people to partake of the cooperative banking system. And that means they are getting loans, they are using it to invest their money, they are saving. It is putting in a saving culture. And the purpose of the saving culture is to benefit from the compound interest element or theory, where if you keep saving on a monthly basis, at the end of the year, that money is compounded together with interest. Understand how the NSSF model works. This is how the Sacco model also works in terms of saving. The only advantage, or the biggest advantage, is this one. You can access it you feel like. The challenge with the NSSF is there's a cap on it, where you must reach a certain age or threshold, or you must have certain requirements that you need to fulfill for you to be able to access. This one, you can save for 1 year and withdraw your money if you feel you have reached your target that you are saving for. Then we have an investment fund, which is called MESU, and we'll talk about the investments that are therein. We also have Mushana Farm. This is the one that has collective farming ventures, which have several. We have the coffee project, we have the goat farming project, we have the Mubende 1 square mile project. We also have the cocoa growing project. Someone, I think it was Madame Helen, who wanted to understand about the coffee when we are starting the cocoa, whether the coffee has started. These investments are constantly put on the Mushana group, and members who are not yet part of Mushana, joining Mushana is not a very difficult thing. We shall be sharing with you at the end of this video how we can join to become members of Mushana and the requirements that are needed. For now, when you join that group, all this information keeps streaming into your face and you keep understanding. So please bear with us, but I hope I can give you some light that can make you think of joining this investment vehicle. And then we also have Mushana Finance, which deals with the collective real estate investments. Again, we shall be talking about most of them. What we see here is we have a project now that we are trying to sell across to members. Daphne, please confirm that you are seeing the proposed Mushana misuse project on your screen.
Yes, I can see it.
Yes, you can see it. Okay. I'm using Daphne as a control measure. So if Daphne can see, that means everybody who is attending this meeting should be able to see that. So one of the projects that I am going to really put my energy on is this proposed Mushana mixed-use project. As a Sacco, we are in plans to obtain a piece of land which is measuring 2 acres. After the main hospital of Kawempe. And from what we have seen, it can make very quick returns for Mesu or for Mushana. We have been there, we have done due diligence several times. We have engaged lawyers from our side. We have done, again, I said due diligence already. We have done what we can possibly do as management to ensure that this project is as risk-free as possible. So far, so good. We are in advanced stages of now acquiring this land. And after this slide, I'm going to be letting us know why it is very important for us to join this project. This project, when we look at the screen, the total funds we need is 4.4 billion shillings. For members who are joining us now, this looks like a lot of money, but this is very small money compared to the contributions that Mushana members can make. The land cost is 3 billion, and then the development cost is 1.4 billion. The land cost means purchasing the property into Mushana names, and then the development cost means the amount of money that is going to be used to make that property an investment. For example, the buildings that are going to be put on there, the structures, probably the ground clearances, and the costs of developing it, basically. So that is what is estimated at 1.4 billion. And these figures are not just figures that are cooked up by Anthony and the board or members. These figures are properly researched. These figures are given to us by professionals, because when we come up with such a project, we don't decide. We engage professionals to right from the research stage to the completion. We are just an administrative tool to ensure that everything goes according to plan. So these figures are not generated by Anthony or the board or any member. These figures are generated by professionals. So how we intend to generate this amount of money is through two ways. The first way is equity. Equity means resources that we can mobilize on our own. So as a Sacco, we are confident that we can mobilize about 40% from within us. If Anthony comes with 5 million, the other person comes with 5.5. The initial investment cost for every member for one share is 5.5 million shillings. So if every member comes up with 5.5 million shillings, we can drive up this equity to a point that we may not even need the second option, which is credit from the bank. But should we fall short of mobilizing through equity, then we shall definitely utilize the credit from the bank, so that we can have the 100% which is required to purchase this land and to develop it, so that we can start earning from it as soon as possible. So how we intend to repay this money is through, again, income from the property and 60% equity. Now, when we contribute a certain sum, it will drive up to 40% or a certain figure within that. Then after we have developed the land, payments from our side for members who are still purchasing shares will drive up the equity, which will contribute to 60%. And that will mean our project will be funded 100%, and we are comfortably earning money. I want to interest us, most of the people who invest, if not all, usually want to look at it in terms of how do I actually benefit from this project? And that is what we are going to discuss in the next slide. Daphne, again, please confirm that we can see this next slide, projected income.
Yes, I can see.
Okay, thank you. So again, like I mentioned a short while ago, the figures that we come up with are not figures that are coming from our heads. These are figures that are properly researched. Now, the figures that we are looking at here, please don't look at the big figures and get yourself confused. Allow me to walk with you this journey so that we can understand how we are getting to that figure and how we are calculating it, basically. Are we together? So the figures that we are using here as projected income is of one of the major petrol stations that we are in talks with. And like I said, it is advanced talks, and we are engaging with them to see how we can partner. And the head of their projects division has been in touch with us and is the one who gave us these figures using one of their petrol stations on the same route as an example. So these figures are actual figures that are being made by one of the petrol stations we are talking to. Unfortunately, I may not be able to disclose here for so many reasons. One, some people may sabotage us, and two, well, someone might have the money lying around and run and beat us to the deal, and then we lose that amount of money. So you will excuse me, I will not mention the name of those potential people that we are going to be engaging with. However, what I can assure you is they are very, very big players in the oil industry in this country and all over Africa and the world, probably. So it is interesting news. So from that petrol station, we reviewed some of the figures that they were telling us. And they mentioned that on a monthly basis, the sales of liters estimated to be between 250,000 to 450,000. And of course, the administrative team are very skeptical when it comes to numbers. We do not want to dream big. So we said, okay, let's take the minimum across the entire year, because they gave us some of those records. We looked at the minimum across the entire year of the previous financial year. And the most smallest amount of fuel they sold per day was 250,000 liters. So for purposes of this presentation, let's multiply that by 220 shillings. These 220 shillings comes in such a way that they have for developers. There is the first rate for when someone builds their petrol station, everything is on them, the entire cost is on them, and these people just come with their lubricants and start selling. There is a figure for that. Then there is also a figure for when they come and lease the land. Then there is also an amount for when they come and they have to. Did I say they built everything? The first category is they build everything and then they come and manage. We build everything and they come and manage. The second category is they build and they manage. So we have a small markup for that. So the small markup for that, if they build and we are just managing, we get 110 shillings for every liter. So the cost that I am projecting here is, as per our plan, that Mushana is going to build and then partner with the fuel dealers. Now, if that happens, we came to find that if you multiply the 250,000 liters at a rate of 220 shillings, this is your cut. The only thing that will be applicable to this will be the government taxes, applicable taxes. That's the only thing, which is, we can say 30, 220. But without that, it will give us a rate of 55 million. This is per entire period of 660 million for 1 year that earning are proposed to purchase and develop. Now, the 15 years that we are, if we see towards the end here, I hope you can see the cursor moving, is the period of time that this company is willing to enter an agreement with Mushana. So we will give them this business for 15 years. That is the duration. And I mean, whether we take the 110 per liter or we take the 220 per liter. The financials made a lot of sense for 220 shillings and per liter of fuel sold, which brings us to 1 year. Now, if you multiply that for the 15 years that the fuel company is going to be engaging with us, we shall have got 9 billion shillings. Now, this 9.9 billion shillings, when we take off the 4.4 that we invested, it means we have 100% return on investment. And the land is still ours. The structures are still ours. So it means if we, or if Mushana, the team that is available at that time, making decisions, still decides to continue for another 15 years, that means that money will again double. So this amount that we are talking about, the 9.9 billion, is only on what they termed as petrol station oils and lubricants. That is fuel and these things for service and so on. Then they also calculate 10%, which is for renting they call it like the 15 years, we have 990 million realized from rent, assuming that period. If it is really short, we don't have someone coming in for can accumulate 66 million every year. That same location has some warehouses behind there, and the warehouses are charging 2,500, and this is an actual cost. This is an actual cost. The warehouses are being charged 2,500 shillings, in dollars rather, $2,500 to rent in those areas. Now, if you multiply that by the 12 months which make up a year, that will mean $30,000. If we make that $30,000 times the 15, which I use as a constant to evaluate the whole business, it brings us to 1.7 billion shillings. Now, if we choose to lease the land for 15 years, according to the statistics of this current petrol station, they are paying 8 billion shillings for that lease of that land. And this institution, I'm told, does not purchase land. They can only lease. So cost that we saw for this similar entity that is on the same road as ours was 8 billion shillings. Now, this can be paid in 2 installments in halves, at the beginning and at in the middle of the 15 years. So again, this is another way we can get the money. We can say, okay, for us, we do not want the 9.9 billion. We want to get the 8 billion, and we go for it. So the total investment, if you ask me, can amount up to 20.6 billion shillings. This is almost, at this level, we shall be almost operating as an agency of government. It will be really big. Within the country, very few of them are even close to this amount of money being made. So, members, that is one project. The second one, and Helen was very interested in Mushana Farm. In 2017, called Mushana, started a demonstration farm in Makerere, which was a project aimed at training and empowering the youth. That project assisted over 500 youth with hands-on training. However, from what was derived from that training, and it gave us a lot of market insight, and we realized that agriculture was one of the in Nakasongola. Members have always gone to this place and they have enjoyed. We have some goats there. And the coffee has been planted. The coffee is now in the growth stage. So it will take a period of 3 years for us to begin getting money from this coffee project. Join Mushana and we guide them on how they can benefit from it. So members who invest in that will also have a certain percentage of how they will be paid in that investment. Now, if I may, how does one benefit from this money? We are again back to this previous page. Maybe 10% is taken for Mushana's growth and development projects, and 90% is left to be shared among the shareholders. That 90% will be divided among the members who are more you get. But we do not want to leave anyone behind. We want to grow with everybody. So even if we are one of 200 people that have invested in this, let's take a quick statistic, if I may, assuming getting 9.9 billion shillings. Are we together? Oh, sorry. We are only 200 people that have been subscribed as shareholders on that project. We'll take that 9.9 and then divide that number by the 200 people. Now, the profit that everyone will have made, where is my calculator, is 49.5 million shillings. Now, the initial investment in this project is 5.5 million shillings per share. Are we together, ladies and gentlemen? Let me hear at least someone say they can hear me and I'm not talking to myself.
Your President, the network is not okay.
Okay, let's go back to the meeting. We can unmute. Thank you so much for giving me that feedback. I appreciate that. So after someone has invested their 5.5 million shillings, at the end of this investment cycle, they can access 49.5 million shillings. Assuming we say we do not want to wait up to that time. Let's say we are making the 660 million shillings. Let's say 60 million goes into management and we have 600 million and we are 100 members. We shall have that 600 million and we shall divide that 600 million by, let's say, the 200 shareholders. And that will mean everybody at the end of the month who invested their 5.5 million will be earning 3 million shillings. Members, when we talk about passive generational wealth, this is what we are talking about. The reason we see a lot of, I hope we don't have any old Muzungu, I'm about to give an example like that. The reason we have these old Muzungu coming here to enjoy their money and look so rich is because of such investments. They join Mushana or the Mushana in the US or wherever it is and make such investments. And when the company makes return on investment and dividend is declared, they can afford to buy themselves the Range Rovers. They can afford to come here and have fun. They can afford to do the things that some people think is wasting money. But it's because of these and such kind of investments that they are able to live that lifestyle that they live. So members, that I think was all I can share in regard to the mixed-use project for Kawempe. We are in advanced stages. We request you or we implore you to join that team. You see, investment is like preaching. People get saved, others don't get saved. But at the end of it all, when we have done our work on earth, people want to be prayed for in church, even those who did not want to get saved. Now, at that point, the Bible says that someone must confess, someone must be able to confess using their own tongue that Jesus is Lord. According to the Bible, I'm not according to the Bible, it says someone must be able to confess. Now, what does that mean when someone has rested and did not confess? So we have an opportunity here to join this absolutely important investment to take us forward. The way Mushana is built is it wants to grow with you starting from day one. For example, there are people who have low incomes, or there are people who have a lot of pressure on their finances, and they can only be able to set aside so much. Now, such a person, we have a package for them. They should be able to save monthly. Someone who can save like around 500,000 per month, if you multiply that 500,000 for a 12-month period, it will be, let me just get the math here. It's 500,000 multiplied by 12 months. And what does that give you? It gives you 6 million. Now, this 6 million, minus even the 15% of interest that Mushana gives at the end of the year, this 6 million can make you deposit on a project which I'm about to talk about next. For example, this at Kawempe, where we plan to do a petrol station and some apartments behind and warehouses. Now, what does that mean? At the end of that year, this person who deposited 6 million will start earning passive income of 3 million every month. I mean, every time dividend is declared. And it will only be done twice, and he has already recouped. So someone can start with saving, then join another project that will bring in more money. Alternatively, someone who has also got this 6 million can also purchase land. For example, we have so many lands that I said earlier that we get based on the theory of economies of scale. So 6 million can be half the value of land, for example, in Kasanje. Now, when someone has got that land in Kasanje, because we have land of 10.2 million, we have projects of 4.2 million, we have projects of 5.5, we have projects of 8.2. Basically, there is no leaving anyone behind, and nobody should have an again picks this money and makes an investment within Mushana. This 6 value. So that means if this person purchased a plot of 10.2 million shillings or 12 million shillings for matters of explaining, at the point of picking their land title, which is usually between 1 and 2 years, it doesn't take really long, sometimes even earlier, that person can sell that plot of land at double the price. Now, double the price of 12 million would mean that person gets 24 million. It means that person can now invest in so many of Mesu's investment options. They can put something in savings per month. They can put something in the coffee project. They can put something in the goat project. They can put something in all those other projects. Now, it is about being disciplined for the first periods of the initial periods of your life, either 1 or 2 years, depending on how much you're putting, and then being financial for the rest of that period of time. Members, I hope I am communicating. Now, this person who has purchased land and sold it, that is one way. He can sell it and recoup the money at twice the value, or he can decide to build his house on this piece of land, or even build rental units. Most of the people in Uganda or in Africa, most of them reach retirement without even building. Now, if you again take the example of 500,000 as rough estimate, because most of them are corporate. Now, someone will pay rent of 500,000 averagely. Some people even pay more. Areas like my friends, the MD and so on, and everybody who are in Chisasi and wherever, rent there can be very, very costly. A double room is up to a million and a half. Just a 2 room, a sitting room and a bedroom. Now, assume estimate of saying 500,000 is what someone is paying for rent. You find that 500,000 times 12 becomes 6 million in rent. And yet this same 6 million can purchase you a piece of land. Now, as and when someone is ready, has got the piece of land, Mushana also has a hardware where someone can either start saving slowly for materials, or they can enter into an agreement with the hardware and we help them with construction, or we give them supply of material. There is no member in Mushana who should be within the next 2-3 should still be a poor person. I declare and decree that every member who joins Mushana with these investment options that we keep coming up with on regularly, there is nobody who should be able to be financially struggling. The mathematics is simple. We are seeing you. We can fact check this information anywhere. You can just walk to any petrol station, check out. You can walk to any of our sites where we've purchased land, and you can speak to them. And they will tell you that here a plot of land is 50 million. Yet in Mushana, Members, let us work together on this. So I was explaining about Mushana. This project will start earning, and the coffee farm is going to be a big part of Mushana as well. Why? Because we are in engagement with government to facilitate us with a processing facility where we shall add value to our coffee. Now, adding value to coffee means a kilogram of raw beans in coffee may take about 6,000 shillings. But after it is processed, a kilogram can rise up to 130,000 shillings for every 1 kilo of coffee that has been processed. So we want to have a processing unit there, and all that, the returns of investment are coming back to Mushana members. Let me now go to the next project. The second project that I really wanted to talk in depth about today is the goat project. Now, Mushana is having plans of securing a 1 square mile piece of land in Movende. For members again who are on the group, you have seen that our head of investment, the wonderful Dr. Charles Babutunga, alongside the MD, visited several areas in Movende and I think Kakumiro. And they actually identified suitable land which was encumbrance-free, without squatters, and very fertile, and with even sources of water. Such land is what we intend to do our goats project on. For now, what we are doing is the breeding project, where we have 2 packages in the breeding. Is where someone will purchase 4 goats, female, at a cost of 4.5 million shillings. I think let me first break down this 4.5 million shillings before we go to. One package is where someone purchases at 4.5 and gets 4 goats, and then the other second package is where someone purchases at 2.5 and gets 2 goats. Now, when you purchase 4 goats, there is a slight reduction in the cost of investment. Now, it is as simple as 1, 2, 3. When someone purchases 4.5 million, you have purchased 4 female goats. These female goats can even be tagged your name, because they will always be at the farm, because we always have periodic visits to the farm. You as an individual can also come and say, I am feeling like seeing my goats. And then we shall arrange and go and see these goats. Yeah. So the mathematics here is that the goat gives birth every 6 months to 120 days. Now, the very first birth, a goat is always expected to give you at least one kid. The second birth, it gives you at least 2 kids. And then the third and fourth, it will give you 5 kids in 2 intervals. It can either give you triplets in one and twins in one, or twins in one and triplets. That's how it comes to 5. Now, for someone who has invested 4.5 million shillings in those 4 goats, by the end of the year, you should be able to have 16 goats, which you can sell at 1.250 million. That is 1.250. Now, if you look at that cost and you multiply it by the 16 goats, it will mean that you have made an investment where you spent 4.5 million, and at the end of the year, you are getting 20 million. Like I said, these figures are researched figures. If you want, or if you like, we have a gentleman that we have been also talking to. There's a gentleman on YouTube who has a very wonderful video. He's called Hamis Semanda, and he has a very wonderful video realistically. And he has been in this, and he has done, he's specializing in goat. And out of goat, he has built mansions, he has built value addition centers, he has traveled the world, and he has done everything out of goats. And this is someone who, I won't say wasn't very educated, but didn't get educated to the levels that some of us or some of you have gone to the masters, PhDs, and so on and so forth. This is someone who was practically looking after goats. And he has a very interesting video. I wish I would tag it here. But if you go and search Hamisi Semanda, he has very wonderful videos that he keeps posting about goat rearing. For him, he's doing the savannah. Now, for us, we are going to do the 100% breeds, which we are just going to import. And those ones, the minimum they can give you every birth is twins. Members, if you invest 4.5 million, be rest assured that at the end of the year, you'll be going away with your 20 million. Now, the project for the people who are purchasing the 2 goats, the 2 goats is just half of this. For them, they will get 8 goats by the end of the year. And then their return on investment will be 10 million shillings. Members, where do we get such businesses? It is only in Mushana here. Yeah. The next thing I would like to enlighten members is our affordable housing and finance. I have briefly talked about the hardware, but particularly here, I'm going to talk about, we have several real estate portfolios. If you can see the gentleman here, this is the Mushana hardware, and you see someone was already taking his cement to go and build his mansion. Yeah. On top of that, we also can help people who are outside the country and they have projects of construction that they need us to assist them with. It is done in so many ways. We can reach out to the MD and he will guide. We can assist you to supervise. We can assist you to construct. And we can even assist you to manage in your absence. We use professionals and we don't even do it ourselves as Anthony Ochieng. We use professionals to do all those things. So when you hand us your project and you're abroad, be rest assured that your project is going to be finished, first of all, in time. And on top of that, it is going to be in the required quality and standards. So we also have a real estate portfolio where we purchase several different lands. We have so many projects in Gayaza, in Chira, in Bwebaja. We also had in upscale places like Garuga. We also have upscale places like Serena Chigo. We have now Kawempe for mixed use, and so many others. We have the huge farmlands. All those fall under the real estate portfolio. And this project that we are seeing on the left here is what we call the condominium apartment. Now, members have been able to invest in this condominium project, and right now, we are just at this the stage where we are getting the environmental assessment being done, and then we have the final approval to start constructing. And construction is expected to be done within 2 to 3 years. And within 2 to 3 years, members should be able to sleep in their houses here, or members should be able to sell their apartments or even rent. In this area that we are talking about, an apartment goes for not less than 1.5 for a double room, a sitting room and a bedroom. So members are invested, also invest in this one. The first unit is going for 80 million shillings, and we have that is a 1-bedroom, and we have up to the 3-bedroom phase. For details, we shall be sharing with members also on the groups, or you can reach out to us, reach out to any of the directors, reach out to the managing director, and reach out to Miss Daphne Nahuera. Sorry. Now, currently, members have been asking, how many members are you in the Sacco? There's always a feeling that people feel safe when they are in numbers. And the people that are termed as shareholders, these are the people who are the owners of shares in MESU, are 78 members. These are current statistics. You can cross-check with us at any one time. We are not doctoring anything here. People who are benefiting from the borrowing services and those who are saving, taking up the saving, the treasury bonds, and so on and so forth, are 862 members. People who are investing in the securities, I think this is where the securities come in, the bonds and the bills, they come in here. Those are 55 members. We also have the coffee farmers. There are 34 members who are invested in that portfolio. Then we have the real estate. The real estate is members who have purchased land or are actively always getting land here and there. And then we have employees who are running the day-to-day operations of Mushana. Members who are receiving money, members who are helping us to do the administration, members who are surveying for us the land, members who are doing due diligence, with the Ministry of Lands before we get into any land purchases and so on and so forth. All those people fall in here. The farm management team, all of them fall in here. So that marks the end of my presentation. I think this is the moment where Madam Daphne, you are going to take us through the expectations, if they were met, or if there's something they wanted to hear more about and they did not hear about, or if there's still time, we can take some questions and we answer them here. Otherwise, I thank you so much for bearing with me. I believe I have utilized about exactly 1 hour for the presentation, and over to you, Daphne.
Wow. That was very brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our chairman. We are very proud of this presentation. And thank you very much because you delivered it perfectly well. Members, there is an in-chat message option. If you have a question, you can put it there. And if you can't, you can raise up your hand and I'll be able to kindly ask you to unmute yourself so that you can ask your questions. Anybody with a question? Or anyone that would like to add on to what the chairman has already said? Okay, so while we wait for the questions, I'd like to make a few reminders. These meetings are recorded and the recording is always shared on our YouTube channel. If you haven't interacted with our YouTube channel, please go to YouTube, search for Mushana Sacco. You'll be in position to see all this content, and you can actually engage with this content. You can share it with the people and help us grow because we are all growing together. I think I have a question coming through.
Going to achieve that dream of being a bank in 2026. So we are on course. If you are part of that team, please continue saving, continue taking up some of the Mushana packages because we need to build equity for that to happen. So be rest assured. Mr. Gaba Matthias is saying it's equally good to get used to big figures. I think so. I think it is a very positive mindset that you are trying to share with us there. It is very important. You know, we need to see where we are going. Even in the Bible, when God was telling the children of Israel that they were going to Canaan, he painted a picture for them. And he told them they were going to a land where there was no suffering, where there's food, there's water, there's everything. So we need to really start getting used to these big figures and even more big figures because we are getting bigger. When we become a bank, for example, we shall be bigger. The moment we hold hands together, alone as Anthony or as Matthias, it will be very difficult for you to own a bank. But with this number that I have talked about as active members of Mushana who are over 1,000, if everybody just brought 5.5 million shillings, yeah, or bought some equity or shares into that banking philosophy, then that would be 5.5 times 1,000. And that would be just enough resources to get us started on whatever venture it is that we are going to use to be an investment vehicle for the future. So 5.5, if you multiply that by 1,000 people, I want to really be exact. I don't want to use mental work. That is 5.5 billion, more than enough for us to use that as a platform and become bigger. So I appreciate that you can actually tune yourself to getting used to that ideology of getting used to making money as a shareholder. I've given you a simple example. Most of the people that have made it in life, someone was giving an example of Mr. Charles Mbire. Mr. Charles Mbire bought shares in MTN when almost everybody didn't think MTN would be anything. But as of today, any single call you make, any single message you text, any connection to the internet through an MTN line, Mr. Charles Mbide is smiling. That is the future that we want for ourselves. Mr. Charles Mbide believed in MTN when very few people believed in it. And he took the wise decision of purchasing shares in MTN in 1998, probably before it even came here. I don't know. I think I remember it from 1998. But up to now, he's one of the richest men. His children will probably not even finish his money. And the children of, that is what we call generational wealth. Mr. Charles Mbide is enjoying the wealth from MTN and other investments that he made where he purchased shares. His children are going to enjoy that same wealth. The children of his children are going to enjoy that same wealth. And like I explained earlier on, it is the dividend that you get from one investment that helps you to invest in another investment, therefore widening your streams of income. So it gets to a time where you are one of those billionaires that doesn't have to work, is just there to look for how to look younger and spend their money. Are we together? So it is what Mushana is offering as an investment platform is a very good strategy for us to probably even retire young. Some of you are here and you are below even 30. By the time you start investing like this for 10 years or even 5 years or even 3 years, trust me, you may be tempted not to continue working at 40 or at 35. So all of us, the goal is to ensure generational wealth. Have as multiple streams of income that keep you at bay with the constantly changing pressures that the economy is bringing. Next week, people are going back to school. The school fees culture here is now people start getting loans. Mushana is going to make money because people are going to run to Mushana to get loans. Now, for us, we are benefiting from people's pressure. Yeah, they're going to come in multitudes and borrow money to go and pay school fees. Then they come and pay and give us interest on top of those monies. So for us, we should be at the top of the game. And that's what Mushana is doing. So be part of it. Invest in all these. If today you can't invest in the mixed use project, at least invest in treasury bills or bonds. If you can't do that, at least save your money on a monthly basis. If you can't do that, at least purchase some land or buy some 2 goats. At the end of the year, you will not remain the same. I think there is, let me see, Samaki Aquaculture is saying presentation is on and off. Unfortunately, I have not paused in my talking. I've been continuous in my talking, but I think it is the technology that is sometimes letting us down. We sincerely apologize for that, but I hope you have been able to pick what we are largely trying to talk about. Yeah. Omara Samuel, in the last financial year, what was the earning per share declared for those owning Mushana shares? Mr. Mara, thank you so much. You seem like the most active question asker here, and I'm very glad. What happens is, unfortunately, we cannot declare to you how the Sacco performed in the last financial year. This information is for the shareholders, and the shareholders will be able to guide us on whether we should publicize it in the newspapers or otherwise. So please bear with us. But like I told you, we posted very, very wonderful profits in the last financial year. So please be rest assured, in hundreds of millions, by the way. So that money, the shareholders will decide how we shall utilize it. And before we present it to them, we cannot, unfortunately, declare it to the public. Please bear with us. So you're also asking that what happens to the contingency plan if the goats die? Now, we have a lot of plans in place, first of all, to ensure that your goats do not die. One, we have a fully fledged farm team, which is headed by a fully qualified veterinary doctor. And we shall also be having consultants from like some of the people that have really made it big in the goat industry. Yeah. And as Mushana, we take our investments very serious. So we give zero room for error. There can be a margin of 0. maybe 2% or 0.1 that an occurrence like this can happen. That's why we assure you that should it happen, you will still be able to get your 8 animals by the end of the year. And that will be on Mushana. So there's no cause for worry. We just have to invest as openly as possible. And you will be visiting these farms also to see how we are progressing. So there's no need to be worried about the investment if anything dies. It is a possibility, but we look at it as 0.2% or so.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ochieng. That was amazing. And I think even Mr. Omara has appreciated. I see he has clapped for you. And I would take this kind of engagement. I don't know why members are not asking questions. I will assume that they definitely did understand. And maybe since you're not asking, I may need to ask you, members, something, because, what are your concerns or hopes for the next year as we navigate these new investment opportunities? Mr. Ochieng talked about all these opportunity investments that we are getting involved in and we are venturing into. These are some of the things that you need to ponder on. Are you ready to invest? Are you ready to be part of the next big thing? Are you ready to make that decision now? He gave you an example of Mr. Charles, and one thing you need to know is that Mushana may look small to you right now, but the future is bright and it's bigger. So if you cannot decide now, I don't know if some of you have noticed that every time, for example, with the coffee farm, every year the prices of that land, the prices increase. So if you're not making that investment, the share of the Mushana mixed use project might be at 5.5 million right now, but tomorrow it's going to be more. So if you can't make the decision to invest now, then I will just have to pray for you, because unfortunately the prices are going to go high because the value is going to go higher. And right, in the meantime, you can think about how we can work together in several other projects. Definitely, you've seen the projects that Mishana is working on. There's a lot that you can bring to table, one as an investor and also as someone that is interested. You can think of ways that we can work together. You can think of ways that you can be part of this and effectively be heard and be felt, and you will definitely be given a platform to so that we can exchange and learn together, so that we can grow together. Don't look at something that is not working well and you say, okay, they are going to figure it out or they are going to see it. No. If you see anything that is not working well, if you see anything that is questionable, please air it out, speak out. Some of these, through some of these meetings or on any of our platforms, you can reach out to any of us. You can reach out on WhatsApp. If you're not on the WhatsApp group, once again, kindly send your number in the chat and your name, and we're going to add you there so that you're able to keep up with Mushana. You're able to keep up with the activities that you're doing. You're able to receive the information that we are sharing in these smaller circles. And yes, it's going to be very important for you to be part of this. So if you see anything that you feel like you need it addressed as soon as possible, reach out to any of us. Our numbers are on the WhatsApp groups. Mr. Ochieng's number is there. Mr. Mugabe's number is there. My number is there, and so many other people that can be of help to you. Or you can just pose a question on WhatsApp and someone is going to come back and answer it. Or you can post your concern, and we are going to meet as a team. And maybe what I'm sure he touched it. He communicated earlier, but he heads a board of 5 members as a chairman, and it's very important that you know there's a team that is working tirelessly day and night to make sure that these investments actually yield, you know, to make sure that you get your return on investments. There's a board of 5 qualified members. There is a team of staff that, you know, are employed in different investment projects under Mshana that are willing to do everything possible to make sure that everything is going on well with your investments. So kindly, whether it's for whether you want to save your money, or you want to be a shareholder, or you want to invest in the goat farm, or you want to invest in the coffee farm, or you want to invest in the cocoa farm or mixed use project, please reach out to any of us and you'll be assisted the best way possible, and you can have all the confidence that you are going to get your return on investments. The chairman gave us all the numbers involved, and we can actually, I don't know, the meeting can actually decide. If you feel like you didn't understand very well, you can reach out to him and we can have another meeting like this. These are going to be recurring meetings, and therefore at some point we may have to bring him back to do the math again.
Her first question was, she was wondering if bonds in Mush can be compared to BOU bonds. Yeah. Maybe we need to understand what are bonds and who gives them. So bonds are long-term securities that mature in a period of time, and you know they are they're protected against inflation, and they are available for both medium and long-term securities. For example, it can mature in 5, 10, 30 years, and so forth. Now, bonds are issued by government. So you cannot say you are comparing bonds in Mushana and BOU bonds, because BOU acts on behalf of the government of Uganda and issues out those bonds. Now, there are rates that are determined from time to time. There are certain rates that are determined that government comes up with, just like what they call the best lending rate. There is a figure that they come up and say bonds are going to be at this interest. And usually it is anywhere between 10, 12, 13, and so on and so forth. If it is really good, it doesn't exceed 15. Now, for us at Mushana, we are saying our investments in bonds should be able to help us pay out 15% to members who are investing in that. Yeah, so whether government declares a 12%, for us, we shall come in and pay the 15%. And it is always good to compound that interest. Leave it for a period of 5 years, leave it for a period of 10 years, leave it for 15, 20 years. When you leave that money there, it produces at a very fast rate, because at the end of the year, when they add the 15%, it increases in the amount. And that increased amount is now what the 15% starts being calculated upon. So you might find that it gives, in a period of 10 years, it has given you between 100% to 150% of your investment. So it is a very good investment to help us with saving, and you can sell it anytime, and you can also purchase anytime. So we can't really exactly say we are going to compare with BOU, because it is BOU that trades in bonds. I hope that is clear. Then she also asked about the coffee. Okay, coffee, return on coffee is in 3 years. Do we have a time frame for cocoa? The targeted time frame is also 3 years, unfortunately, members have not yet been able to take up this coffee project seriously, and we should be able to start with the new year. So the plant itself takes a period of time to grow. So the 3 years that we talk about for coffee and the 3 years we talk about for cocoa is for that plant to start from planting to maturity. And then we can start picking fruits from them and make money out of the fruits. So before the project starts, we can only tell you it can take 3 years. So if the uptake, if for example, today all the 15 or 20 members join and say we want the coffee project, then we shall utilize the current rains and start on the on the cocoa project. And within 3 years, you will also be earning dividend. So currently, we are doing very well with the coffee project. And we encourage more members to come and join the project because there's always safety in numbers and we can always do more in numbers. So I hope, Helen, I've tried to give you an answer for what you were asking about. Yeah. But
yes, it's clear, although as an investor and a business person, since cocoa is not yet fixed on which date of the year it will start, what happens to the deposited money that we are giving? Is it producing any interest somewhere? Where is it? Have you understood my question?
I have, Madam Helen. You always have interesting questions. The last time I think you were asking the whereabouts of the goat, and this time again you are wondering what is happening to your investment. Well, that money that we have collected for members who are in that project, there's 2 ways we are going to decide as board and shareholders, or the members who have contributed as shareholders. We shall decide on 2 ways. One, either increase the number of shares, or we have members agree that we can start on the current project as it is. Yeah. Now, the challenge with doing things in small numbers is the cost usually tends to be higher. For example, if you are going to till 100 acres, the manpower that you use for that 100 acres is less compared to when you are going to bring someone to do 1 acre, for example. Yeah, because when they see the job is bigger, it tends to become like a wholesale. Now, wholesale attracts slightly lower prices. So it is something that we'll decide. And if board also decides that people get interest on those people who have contributed for that, it can also be done. So all this is something that will be subject to discussion in the board, and all members have to discuss with the shareholders. Alternatively, we could start the project and other members join. We have also severally done such things where we start a project depending on the resources which are available, and other members can later join and uptake on these projects. So there is no need to worry. The money, first of all, I want to assure you, is very safe and accounted for. Our system here is we have integrity as one of our core values, and the transparency. That is why you see, as and when there is any payment that is made to a Mshana account, it is always reflected in the group. It is not done to embarrass the person, but it is done to also show this person that this amount has been deposited. So you can low-key also keep following the transactions in those WhatsApp groups of ours. On top of that, we also take screenshots and we share with the owners of the money that has been deposited. I hope this is happening, or if it has not been happening, all those snapshots are there of receipts and so on and so forth. The time you come to the office, you'll find all of them are available. Because recently the MD did a very good job and tracked down someone who was trying to con us by forging receipts and claiming that they had deposited money on our accounts. The good thing is the MD and the management team, and there's a lady called Madame Gloria, were able to reconcile our accounts vis-a-vis the receipts that are coming in from people. And we were able to catch that fraud. Are we together? So we take matters of governance and administration of this Sacco very serious, and we want to safeguard members' interests as much as possible. So be rest assured, the Cocoa project will start, and definitely you'll make money out of it.
Wow, thank you very much. I think we should close this one out. In case there are no any other questions. First of all, I'm really, really, really grateful. On behalf of the Sacco, I would like to thank each one of you for taking your time and being part of us today. Kindly keep that feedback coming, especially about these meetings. Your feedback is very helpful. You could share your feedback within the message or even on WhatsApp, or you can just come to my inbox and give me this feedback about the meetings. If they're actually helping, if they're actually making a difference, should we continue the meetings? Should we not continue the meetings? Because I can see we are now at 14 people, and earlier we had a bigger number. Are the meetings too long? Kindly give us your feedback. Let us see how we can work together to make sure that we are satisfying our needs. Thank you very much once again. I would like to invite you once again to go to all our social media platforms and follow us and engage with our content. We are intending to do more in branding next year, since we are making 10 years. So I want you to be very, very, very expectant of what is about to come, and their project will still be in conversation. You know, we notice that sometimes when they pick on a different project, people who are not interested in that project feel the need to drop off the meeting because they are not necessarily, it's not in their interest of investment. And so if we are able to have each topic or each project talked about in a specific meeting, then we can have people that are interested in that topic. Yes, thank you very much. I am going to close the meeting. Once again, this meeting was recorded, and the recording is going to be shared on a YouTube channel. So in case you missed anything, in case you want to share with somebody, when that link is shared, kindly go and look at it. I am having a hand from Mr. Ochieng. Let me give him a chance to talk to us and also give us his last remarks so that we can close the meeting.
Thank you so much, Daphne. I wish to extend my sincere thanks to the members that have really taken time. I can see there is Angela, Chat Haide, Ankunda Genevieve, Charles Babu, Daphne, Ngoga Safaris, you're most welcome. Helen, you have been very, very participatory, and we definitely appreciate you sparing time. Irene Kobusinje, you're most welcome. Mugabe Johnson, thank you so much for being online. As we can see, and Mr. Mara, thank you so much. Your questions were very insightful. And should any of you have any questions, please feel free. I put a message there and said, feel free to reach out to members of the management team and join the WhatsApp groups if by any chance you are not on the WhatsApp group. Not all things can be discussed here. I can see some of the members were in and out, some of the members came late. So there's a chance that you could have missed something that could be life-changing for you. So feel free, send in a request to join the WhatsApp groups so that they can enlist you there and you can be having first-hand information. We don't need to be worried whether we are 10 people or 15 people that have been attending this meeting. I think, you know, I gave the example of people receiving Christ before they die and those who are prayed for when they are dead. I don't know who is listened to more by Jesus, but let us just continue encouraging friends of our friends, those people that we wish well. Yeah, if you have a group of people that you feel they need to hear this message, we can always find time. MD, myself, the head of investments, and the board can always find time to find time to come to those groups and have these discussions presented to them. For example, if you have a women's group, another savings group, or your estate group, or your school OGs, people that you feel really you wouldn't want to leave behind in this journey of investment, please feel free to reach out to us so that we can culture the discussions towards that group and we come and make the same presentations. We are reaching out to so many people. This group started with 5 members and now we are standing at over 1,000. That means it gives us hope that we are really moving in the right direction. For members that have taken up some of the investment portfolios and have not yet completed the payments that are required, we request you to always ensure that you fulfill your obligations. Should you, for example, purchase land and the period of time that was given for making those payments is complete, you can as well also request for a loan at very, very, very low interest rates to assist you to complete that piece of land. Yeah, otherwise it is also affecting some of our operations. Yeah, so feel free, if you feel you have some challenges with finances, reach out to the loans team, reach out to the management team, speak to them, see how we can be of help. So otherwise, let's bring whatever resources we can, we put into Mushana and expect to grow in the shortest period of time. I thank you so much. I wish you all a good night and be blessed. Please talk to your friends, let them join. This is a wonderful opportunity that we don't want anyone to miss out. Have a good night and God bless you. Thank you so much, Daphne, for the deliberations. You are always wonderful. The Daphne who engages us in meetings here is very formal compared to the Daphne who takes us to the field when we are going to visit the site. There it is unlocking and enjoyment on top of enjoyment. So Daphne, those two personalities, I want to understand them, but it is great to have you taking us into these very nice debates that we are having for the rest of our investment journeys. Thank you so much and be blessed.
Wow, thank you very much, Chairman. I have more personalities than two, but we shall explore more later. But yes, thank you very much, each one of you that joined. And if we don't have any other, and for the feedback, thank you so much. It shows the trust and the faith that you have in us, that you're able to give us good feedback. Kindly keep that coming. You can even put the feedback on WhatsApp so that we can see how to serve you better and how to make these meetings much better. Thank you very much, each one of you that joined. In case of anything that I have left out, I will be, and most of these meetings actually, you can always just start something or say something so that we can see that you're there. You don't always have to be in, I should call it Kamoli all the time. But you can always say something. You can always raise your hand, say something, clear your voice, be interactive and ask your question. Or if you're shy, you can just text me that question and I ask it for you on your behalf. Otherwise, thank you very much. I hope we have a wonderful evening. Looking forward to having you in the next meeting. We shall be communicating the agenda for the next meeting, the topics for the next meetings. And yes, moving forward, let us do this together. Please don't miss these meetings because they're very informative and helpful. So it's very important that you attend each one of them. You never know. Sometimes you might not be interested in a specific project, but attend it. Perhaps you could change your mind. Thank you very much, each one of you. I am going to end this meeting. for the sake of the recording, and then those that would like to stay and chat, what we may call chimeza, please stay behind so that we can get to know each other for a few more minutes. If you are busy, you can leave at leisure. Once again, subscribe to this YouTube channel because this meeting is going to be posted on YouTube and all our social media platforms, both for Mushana Sacco and for Mesofam. Thank you very much and see you next time. Goodbye.